Thank you. A DACA deal on the horizon. House Republicans have indicated support from the White House to push 2 immigration bills forward. This comes as House Speaker Paul Ryan announced votes will come next week, a move that stopped moderate Republicans from employing a forced vote to move an immigration ruling forward. Legislation has been stalled over heated debates handling pathway citizenship for the so-called Dreamers. In the midst of these charged immigration talks is Republican Florida Congressman Carlos Curbelo. He joins us now from Capitol Hill. Congressman, thank you so much for your time. Of course, you're working on this compromise bill that would go against Chairman Goodlatte's bill next week. How do both of them compare, and how far along are you in getting that compromise bill?
Sherry, good afternoon from the Capitol, and we have been working for weeks with our colleagues to try to find a compromise on immigration. This is a topic that our country has been debating for 13 years. We have nothing to show for it, and we strongly believe that it's time to act. With regards to the Goodlatte bill, we think it's too restrictive on legal immigration. We also don't think that the solution that it proposes for Dreamers, for young immigrants brought to our country as children, is sufficient. The compromise bill is much stronger in all these senses. It seeks to better align our immigration system with our economy, obviously makes investments in border security, which is important to a lot of Americans. And we believe that it provides a fair solution for young immigrants brought to our country as children, DACA recipients who are working hard, contributing to this great country today, and deserve to have a secure future here.
Does that mean that it includes a pathway to citizenship?
What we have designed is a bridge into the legal immigration system for young immigrants brought to our country as children, not just DACA recipients, but also the children of visa holders who came to the country with them many years ago, grew up here, and when they turn 21, they age out of the legal immigration system and lose their status. So we're also trying to include them in the solution, and it does offer that bridge onto the legal immigration system so that if someone does want to pursue citizenship, they are able to do so.
So we talked to your colleague Dave Bratt from Virginia yesterday, who is a staunch supporter of the Goodlatte bill, and he said actually he thought he could be able to compromise on some of these issues, including pathway to citizenship, if in fact there were E-Verify in the bill. Is there E-Verify in this compromise version we're going to see?
E-Verify is beyond the scope of what we've been working on. However, if this immigration exercise is successful, I think that then we can bring in other topics that are important to different members for a different bill, like agriculture, E-Verify, a solution for the TPS population. We have many TPS beneficiaries in South Florida. Some of these people have been in the country for over 20 years, working, contributing, and they're at risk of losing their status in the near future. So we want to see if we can get through this challenge. We know it's an issue that's divided Republicans, Democrats, and even divided the parties within each other, intra-party divisions. So we're trying to see if we can overcome that. It won't be easy, but I'd say we're as close as we've ever been to have meaningful immigration reform legislation emerge out of the House.
Okay, give us a sense of another bone of contention, which is what some people are calling chain migration. That is to say, if you let the Dreamers stay here, who else gets to stay? What does the compromise bill propose on that?
So we've worked hard to keep the nuclear family intact. We want to make sure that American citizens can claim and petition their closest relatives. But we also, with some of the categories, we seek to move some of those visas to employment-based visas so that our immigration system better aligns with our economy and fulfills the needs of our economy. Also, we make some changes to the visa programs to accommodate the Dreamer population, which is significant.
Let me just clarify your point on a legal bridge for Dreamers. Is that within the existing ways of pathways to citizenship that you would potentially expedite, or is it a separate pathway to citizenship? Or is it a pathway at all? I don't understand when you say legal bridge.
The new immigrant visa that would be created under this legislation would afford young immigrants brought to our country as children, DACA recipients, dreamers, and others, the opportunity to apply for these visas, to gain these visas, and once they're issued an immigrant visa, they're in the legal immigration system. The question of a pathway to citizenship, that's really up to each individual. In 1986, when President Reagan signed major immigration legislation, about half the people who were legalized decided not to pursue a pathway to citizenship. But under this legislation, we envision them having that option.
Okay, many thanks to Republican Florida Congressman Carlos Curbelo.